Get ready for an unforgettable experience. The thunderous roar of engines, the sharp crack of timber, and the breathtaking sight of massive trees crashing down in seconds. This video takes logging to a whole new level. Don't miss it.
The BMC Pro 935 truck carefully navigates rough terrain, hauling 30 tons of wood out of the forest. Do you think it will complete the journey smoothly? Three Burrell 3229 tractors, pulling trailers and puffing smoke. Look just like a steam train on the move. Does this sight impress you? The 268 HP John Deere 1270G quickly processes an 80-foot spruce with a 6-foot diameter, slicing it into sections in no time. Impressed by this speed? The Hitachi 350 with a CBI cutter successfully uprooted a massive, deep-rooted tree. Do you think this beast could handle an even bigger stump? This homemade wood splitter, with 20 tons of force, makes splitting wood fast and effortless. Do you think it could handle even bigger logs? This machine loads thousands of tons of wood onto ships daily for smooth water transport. Curious about how fast it works? With advanced technology, massive mahogany logs are processed swiftly and beautifully in the factory. Truly impressive, don't you think? The 80HP MTZ tractor starts its day in a muddy forest. Hauling tons of timber, everything seems under control. Do you think the terrain will pose a challenge? This 20-ton cone wood splitter follows the natural grain, making splitting faster and more efficient. Would you try this powerful machine? A semi-truck lost its brakes at high speed, flipped over, and barely missed crashing into a truck, a heart-stopping escape. How do you think the driver reacted? The John Deere 2154 with a Log Max 7000XT head is cutting freshly felled trees into neat stacks. How long do you think it'll take to finish the whole lot? This wood splitter, attached to the Ursus C330 tractor, Effortlessly splits an 80 centimeters log. Do you think it can handle even bigger ones? This is the legendary monster tree, boasting a 14-foot diameter with massive knots. Watch as the lumberjack takes it down. How long do you think he'll need? The Transonkar Volvo FMX 460, hauling 45 tons of wood, slowly crosses a fragile wooden bridge, a nerve-wracking sight. How is the bridge holding up under such weight? The sawmill shreds 5 tons of wood into dust in no time, but it's still no match for my old lady's shopping speed. Sound familiar? The McAllister MVLS 3008T 3000W 8-ton force can split even the hardest wood, making the job effortless. Would you give it a try? The excavator carefully stacks 30 tons of wood onto the 355 HP Volvo 830 truck for long-haul transport. How long do you think this process will take?
A indústria madeireira. dirige o caminhão. Comigo. Fazer um USB na máquina. E do corte. O que impressiona é a habilidade, né? Foi enroscado, desceu, desenroscou. É incrível, né?
Massive 40-foot logs are being precisely and smoothly cut by a specialized tooth saw in the lumber mill. Are you impressed by this cutting accuracy? Imagine being a truck driver hauling timber, witnessing breathtaking landscapes as you master the road. Nature is truly majestic. Would you love this experience? This footage may be old, but the lumberjack's skills are impressive, effortlessly felling an 80-foot, 5-foot diameter tree. Does this amaze you?